basis. All right, you happy with that video?
Yes, done.
Great, we'll move on.
That's out of Hawaii.
10 meters left in the move.
Copy.
I suppose, Mike, that those squid are on the last end of their lives, as those shrimp would be easy pickings. And another Bathypterois tripod fish coming up here.
Video quick zoom in the hole. Let's see if we can see anything.
Is anybody at home? I see another wisp of antenna on the left side, but not much else. You can also see in the sediment here, as soon as those squid get out of the way, these fine tubes, which may be made by a number of different things. They do not look like worm tubes. They might be what are called foraminiferans, which are best known as planktonic organisms, tiny little calcareous shells that sink to the seafloor, but many of them live on the seafloor. They're sort of amoeba-like organisms, and they glue together fine sediment grains to protect themselves. That looks like the entrance to the Lincoln Tunnel.
Could probably get lasers.
Chuck, those tripod fish are Bathypterois viridensis.
Say again, Tracy, Bathypterois, what's the species name, please?
Viridensis.
Viridensis, very good.
All the ones I've seen were that same species.
How you guys feeling? Getting a little steeper.
Thank you,
Do you want to start
Tracy.
making them shorter?
Yeah, probably.
Do,
Yeah,
do 40?
40, 30, yeah.
Which one?
Like 45. Cut in the middle. It's pretty shallow. Like, pretty, not very steep, I think. Yeah, I mean, I can still see the horizon, right? And there's not much going on.
Yeah. Thank you. Sako Matsumoto just let us know on the chat line that the family name of the isopods that Bathynomus belongs to is Cirillanidae, and in Japanese it means sand digging. So that may give us a hint on its burrowing abilities.
I think it's those wub dubs there. Those holes.
And here we have a nice eel.
Darn. Video, I'd say quick zoom, but I think my sand kick up is gonna cover them up.
If it does not get obscured by the sand that we've kicked up, the mud that we've kicked up.
Yeah, do a quick one. Let's see if it's any good.
Tracy, can you help us out on a family name for this?
Yeah, it's a congrid eel. I don't think it's a cutthroat eel, and there are a lot of congrid eels.
Stand by, RV. Can we finish our watch?
Especially in the Gulf of Mexico. We've probably gotten 60 species as leptocephali in the water column.
That's 60. That's pretty impressive.
Well, what's really impressive is watching John Moore sit at a microscope identifying leptocephali.
ROV nav, bridge.
For the uninitiated, leptocephali means small head, and the larvae of
Roger that.
eels
What would you like?
in the plankton in general look like elongated leaves, very transparent with tiny little heads.
Got 40 meters at heading 045 at decimal 2 knots.
That's correct, Bridge. Thank you.
Roger that. Stand by.
That's a magnificent dorsal fin running all the way from just behind the head to the tail, and the anal fin below.
All right, watch lead. Are you happy with that? Video, you happy? All right, come wide whenever you're ready.
ROV nav, bridge. Move's been initiated.
Yeah, stay by a sec. Get that one.
And here we finally have a Acanthocaris sica, the blind lobster, sitting out in the open.
Go for zoom.
And you'll be able to see its characteristic posture with those very long, slender claws held out.
Thank you, Bridge.
Thank you.
And two of its forelegs held forward almost like antennae, lying almost along the bottom. The claws have these really sharp teeth along them.
Straight ahead for you.
And
Center my view.
got to be careful with these animals. If you bring them up in a net, and they are blind. Wonderful ornamentation of little granules along their and spines along their carapace and abdomen. Just waiting for potential prey. They appear to be ambush predators. Very long, delicate antennae.
All right, video. Are you happy with that?
That's great.
All right, come on wide whenever you're ready. And let's take a look at
Big rock.
feature.
Outcrop, I mean.
And there's a rat tail.
Quick zoom on Rattail video. Just for ID.
Tracy, is that Nizumia?
Pardon me.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Correct me on this, but for the rat tails, the ones that live in relatively shallow water like this one, and that's relatively, have the large eyes, and as you get into much deeper water, the eyes are reduced in deeper water species?
All right, video, let's leave him go.
Yeah, the general trend that's true. There's a few ultra deep ones that have really large eyes, and we don't really know why, because there shouldn't be a whole lot to look at down there. Some of these Mercurids have a luminescent perianal organ.
Yeah, I know the lobster.
So you can make your own guess there.
Let me interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. There's another Acanthocaris, and we're coming up on our first hard bottom. I saw what looked like possibly a Chrysogorgiid gorgonian off to the left. Here's one in a typical posture, the Acanthocaris sitting at the front of its burrow, with those